Yeah, Triple B knows his boxing better than I know me local Chinese menu. So like and subscribe. Oh, me freaking heart. Ack. Oh, bloody hell. John, I hope you get better, man. But yeah, bit less Chinese, pal. Yeah, what's it's the Triple B boxing basement. Yeah, and I'm sick of doing videos like this, going over and over and over again. But you know what? They keep depressed. The media, the TV stations keep on giving this kind of nonsense airtime. When it needs to stop. And Claressa, the crackhead Shields, the greatest weave of all time, has spoken. On TMZ or something like that. Yeah. And she has claimed she would beat the following mouse. And listen to this. Yeah, so she named 4 guys that she would beat, right? Now, previously, she'd mentioned Romero, right? Who's a 140-pound world champion. She's 120 pounds, so she outweigh him by 20 pounds, right? But she's a woman. She's got more body fat, boobs, obviously. Even if they're small, and plus she's just whack. Yeah. And she said she could beat Romero. Now he's not the best champ of all time, right? And he can punch though. Yeah, he's only 27, so he's younger than the greatest weave. Yeah. And he would knock her out. She would knock her into next week. This woman has no idea. She may claim she spars with men and holds her own, but no, she doesn't. They pull back on her, man. I've never seen a spar in the ring. I mean, in real time, or on a YouTube video of any man going for it on a woman. They hold right back, man. This idiot Claressa, the crackhead Shields. Rolly would blast her out in like 30 seconds, if not less, and she'd be absolutely shocked. By the difference in power of a 140-pound man like that. Boom. Yeah. And she goes for Sean Porter. Now Sean hasn't fought for a couple of years, but he's still only 35, right? He's an ex-world welterweight champ. He fought many world-class men and world champs. Has been world-class for years. Yeah, and he's a decent world champion. I mean, she thinks she can beat him. It's like, so he's 147 pounds. He has only 30 pounds difference, and obviously he'd be able to go up. So I'm sure he could blow up to 160, as would Rolly. No problem. Obviously, he would bang her out as well in a round. Yeah, I actually sort of think Rolly might do it quicker because he bangs harder, and he'd be not very happy with it. But Porter would bang her out in a round too. Yeah, she'd be shocked at the difference of the strength. She's just flapping her little arms around for 10 2-minute rounds. Keith Thurman's another one. She said she'd be... How can you be so deluded, man? You've been around boxing. You've trained around men. You can see how much stronger and quicker and tougher they are. Women have thinner skulls too, man. Right? Yeah. He's another world welterweight champ. One loss in I think 29 fights to Manny Pacquiao, an all-time great on a split decision. He's 34-year-old. He would wax her fat ass, wax it again in 30 seconds of the first round. She says the best for last. So Triple G, that's right. Gennady Golovkin. Yeah, okay, he's 41 years old. I think, he hasn't fought for a bit, but, 41 years old isn't too old. He's an ex-middleweight champion who last fought at 168 against Canelo, the so-called pound for pound. And he got rolled before against Canelo. Yeah, one of the biggest hitters and ex-pound for pound. Number one, some people had him at. She thinks she could beat him, even at 41. He would, come on, man. That's a murder charge for the Triple G. Beating up a woman like me, it would break her in two, man. It would be horrible. No, it'd be funny, man. I'd pay to watch that. Imagine if you whacked her in her tits as well, after all the speaking, the talking, the nonsense. I mean, how can he be such a deluded loser? I mean, it's you know, like I said, a so-called GWOAT, which means nothing anyway. Being the greatest woman of all time means you're no better than a 15-year-old male amateur. The greatest weave of all time, the greatest wig of all time, whatever she's at. You know, she's the champ of a middleweight women's champ, which means 25 women. She's got to be better than 25 women, man. There are 15 times more male pros, right, than there are women pros. And the GWOAT is boasting about being the best of 25 women. Just think about that for a bit. Oh, I could beat all these men. I'm the best of 25 women. I mean, fat ass women as well. You know, even in like sports that have been going on for many more years, and I've gone through this again and again and again. You know, sports where women have been doing it for much more and are much more suited to. You know, be it swimming or tennis or, you know, it's football. They were absolutely waxed by male teenagers. You know, right now there's some man who was like number 600 in the country as a fella, and now he announced the transition, and he's the best woman in the country. You know, in the last fight, like the greatest weave, look, you know, she looked at probably her best, to be honest with you, against the slow as mud Savannah Marshall, who looked awful with her fat ass. Yeah. She had dimples on her thighs, man, and the weave, the greatest weave, you know, looked like she'd taken more PEDs, right? Some PEDs because she's more muscular and faster than her previous fight, where she looked slow and poor, flapping away. Like I said again and again and again, in football, 14 and 15-year-old boys have waxed international women's teams like 7-0. Old part-time men have smashed women's international teams. It's just a joke, man. It's so deluded, and I'm sick of the agenda, because that's what it is as well, right? Because that's the BS. If it were honest, people would just admit that, go, yeah. But all the BS are pushing women's sport, which Ben Shalom loves, and the head of Sky Sports, and they keep on saying about it. I'm gonna do a video on it one time, right? You remember when the greatest bum of all time was where was she in England? I can't remember what she was doing in England. I think she has a fight against someone, and Adam Smith was there, and he said, Claressa Shields is genuinely covering the UK with sprinkles of superstardom. I mean, what nonsense, man. I wouldn't know. I love boxing. I wouldn't know the greatest weave if I seen her walk down the street. I just think she was another crackhead. Yeah, I bet her neighbours don't even know she's a boxer. They probably think she's just some rug muncher. She's known as next door's rug muncher. I'm sick of this pathetic, fraudulent mirage. A tissue of lies, man. It doesn't matter how many times Matthew Macklin or some other clown compares some bum women's left hook to Joe Frazier, or Darren the Bum Barker says, oh, great left hook, lovely left hook, look at that jab, when it's just some ordinary shot, right? Or being told that Nicola Adams was better than a lot of the men in the Olympics. I mean, no one who knows boxing and no one with a brain even should buy it. But people do. Why? Why? Because that's the power of programming. That's the strength of programming. Through the TV mainly, and the press, and the internet, and the media. It programs your subconscious to believe this nonsense. And people will repeat it. Like I say, people repeat the same thing again and again. Oh, I quite like the women's football. They're better than men. No, they're not. They repeat that because it's been implanted in their head through the most powerful mind programming tool there's ever been, the TV. It implants false audiovisual messages in your head. Yeah, you don't need to be no conspiracist to know that. Right? Yeah, being told all this, being told how great women's boxing is. You know, I was going to see the Lee Wood vs Josh Warrington fight, and then I looked at it, and the next main event is some women's fight, Terry Harper, I don't care about, and then there's another women's fight, and I'm like, no, I'm not wasting my money on that. And that's what hopefully boxing fans will do. I've been to an event. Where did I go? One of the Lee Wood fights, and I see people just look at their phones when the women's is on. You know, no one cares, man. Yeah, the only way, and you know the viewing figures are going to be reflected in it. You know, you remember when they had that all women's fight card, yeah,
And they were like, oh, it's great, it's historical. Like, nonsense. They gave away almost all the tickets for that. Oh, it's a full arena. You look at the arena, it's full of like media executives and, you know, just random people and loads of people on a night out that you never see at a boxing show, because they just gave the tickets away. And they'll see, like I said, on the data, how poorly the women's boxing does, but they don't care, man. Because there is an agenda in all of media to push certain things. And this is a boxing channel, so we're not going to go into that, what it is they're pushing. Anybody with a brain knows it, man. I don't want to be told anymore about how great women's boxing is. Yeah? Yeah? It's like being told, and then I'm buying a Ferrero Rocher and I get served up a turd. That's what women's boxing's like. Peace in the Middle East.